All right. So, like I said, today's webinar is all about transformation through correct nutrition and training. There's a lot of information which is there online, and I'm pretty sure that somewhere or the other, you all have been trying to get to your goals. You've been trying to lose weight. You've been trying to lose body fat, gain muscle, but for some reason you don't know what is the right way to follow. Well, there technically is no right way. It is something that works for you. But in the meanwhile, as well, it's important to understand the basic fundamentals. Uh, you can all hear me, right? Yes. Sorry. So, Kedar, if you cannot hear me, then there must be something wrong with your speaker. Rest everybody can hear me. All right, cool. Let's move on. So it's important to understand some basic fundamentals, some basic foundations of what training is all about, what nutrition is all about, how the mind plays an important role in all of this, and what is fat loss, what is weight loss, how does muscle gain happen. I can assure you that, I mean, I've been in this industry for, I can say easily, 20, almost 20 years. Um, yes, I'll try a little bit in Hindi. I've been in this industry for almost 20 years. All the information, जो कुछ भी मैंने पर्सनल ट्रेनिंग कोर्स के स्टार्टिंग में पढ़ा था 20 साल पहले, और आज लॉकडाउन में मैंने इतना पैसा खर्च किया होगा. आई मस्ट हैव स्पेंट सो मच मनी trying to learn what is new, what is happening, what are the different coaches teaching, all of that. Hey, end में I've come to a conclusion, and literally I am not lying to you, all the information is exactly the same. जो 20 साल पढ़ा था वो इंफॉर्मेशन आज भी वही है. कुछ बदला नहीं है. Nothing has changed. Only thing that has changed is the marketing, the packaging of the product, using more scientific words, trying to complicate the process. Because कहीं ना कहीं हमको लगता है कि यार अगर इतना सिंपल होता तो पॉसिबल कैसे. नहीं नहीं नहीं, नहीं नहीं हो सकता, पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. आई मीन कुछ तो इसमें मैजिक होगा, कुछ तो इसमें साइंटिफिक ऐसा कुछ होगा, कुछ तो कोई तो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी होगी जिसके वजह से some people are able to achieve it and some people are not able to achieve it. But I can assure you that it is not that complex at all. कहीं ना कहीं, the reason why some people end up transforming their self, their aesthetics, is because everything falls in the right place for them. It's the nutrition, their training, their rest, their supplementation. Yes, genetics also play a very important role, but we cannot blame everything on genetics. और कहीं ना कहीं some people don't, because या तो we've not tried it for so long. बहुत लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो 1 महीना करते हैं, 2 महीना करते हैं, 3 महीना करते हैं. 3 महीने के बाद अगर रिजल्ट्स ना आए तो बोलते हैं नहीं, ये मेथड काम नहीं कर रहा, ये तरीका काम नहीं कर रहा, आई नीड टू ट्राई समथिंग डिफरेंट. और मुझे आप चैट्स में लिखे कितने ऐसे लोग हैं यहाँ पर जिन्होंने इतनी अलग अलग चीजें ट्राई की होगी गोल पाने के लिए, बट फिर वो गोल आता ही नहीं है. तो एक वही आई थिंक इज अ मेन एस्पेक्ट. आप बॉडी बिल्डिंग देख लो, सिंपल है. बॉडी बिल्डर्स ओनली नो बॉडी बिल्डिंग. ना वो कैलिस्थेनिक्स में घुसते हैं, ना वो एनिमल फ्लो में घुसते हैं, ना वो केटल बेल्स में घुसते हैं. कुछ भी नहीं. ना उन्हें मैराथन करना है, ना उन्हें ट्रायथलॉन करना है, ना उन्हें कोई ट्रैक पे जाना है. उन्हें सिर्फ बॉडी बिल्डिंग ही करनी है. विच इज वाई द रिजल्ट्स ऑल्सो शो. मसल भी एक ऐसी चीज है, दे से दैट एट 40 muscle maturity is the most is at 40, provided you have been training for the last 10 years, 15 years. तभी जाके वो एक मसल मेच्योरिटी भी आती है. यहाँ पर बहुत सारे लोग होंगे, इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ. वी स्टार्टेड ट्रेनिंग एट द एज ऑफ 18, 19, 20, 23, 24 तक ठीक है, अगर बॉडी में थोड़ी शेप भी आ गई, पर मसल में वो डेंसिटी नहीं आती. जब definition भी आता है, ripeness आती है, that hardness does not come. So that maturity is something that comes with age, and that maturity is something that comes with practice. All right. That being said, let's move on. Acha, so remember, I have something amazing planned for all of you, provided you stay till the end, because I will uh, tell you that only towards the end, which will try to make your journey, your transformation process a little bit more doable. Okay. What is fitness? सबसे important question ये पूछना जरूरी है कि fitness होता क्या है? Fitness is basically a combination of body and mind. आज body and mind is literally regarded as one. बिना एक healthy mind, बिना एक healthy mindset, डिसिप्लिन, विल पावर, ये सारी चीजें जो हैं वो माइंड से रिलेटेड है। और फिर अगर वो सब हो, अगर डिसिप्लिन हो, अगर विल पावर हो, अगर कंसिस्टेंसी हो, तब जाके आपकी बॉडी बन सकती है, by making sure that you put in the right kind of work. So if your mind is strong, if your mind is calm, if your mind is healthy, then the body follows it much more easily. You all agree with me? अगर रात को नींद नहीं आई, अगर किसी के साथ झगड़ा हो गया, अगर काम पे लेट हो गया, बॉडी माइंड टायर्ड है, physically you're not as tired, but the mind is tired. And then you think, yeah, let me go to the gym and do a session. We end up going to the gym, but the session doesn't end up being as good and effective as we would plan it to be, as we would hope for it to be. So mind plays a very important aspect, and the other way around. A healthy body, an active, healthy body also influences the mind. It is a loop. The body feeds the body, the mind feeds the body, and it keeps going. You cannot separate the two. और आज तो उतना इंफॉर्मेशन है, उतना साइंस है, सब कुछ है, which says कि both literally work together. The body and the mind has to work together. And I will also explain to you how. ठीक है? So fitness is basically something that it's different for different people. I would like to hear from some of you what fitness means to you. I'll of course keep on talking, but you can write in the question answers as well. What does fitness mean to you? Is fitness six pack? Is the fitness about aesthetics? Is the fitness about being able to play with your child? Is fitness about growing up old but growing up well, healthy? What does fitness mean to you? Feeling stronger, healthy mind, healthy body. Excellent. Yes. Ishani, Dara, excellent. Yes, absolutely. Being healthy. I mean, somewhere at whatever phase of life, हम अपनी लाइफ में जहां भी है, अगर हम स्कूल में हैं कि कॉलेज में हैं कि स्पोर्ट्स में है, क्लियरली फिटनेस उससे रिलेटेड है. इफ वी आर अ न्यू पेरेंट, वी हैव अ 3 year old, अ 4 year old, यार दे आर, आई मीन, अ बंडल ऑफ एनर्जी. वो तो मतलब शांति नहीं होते, चुप ही नहीं होते. उनके साथ कोप अप करने के लिए आपको तो फिट रहना पड़ेगा, वो तो समझी बात है. ऑलराइट, तो एज अ न्यू पेरेंट, बीइंग फिट मीन्स समथिंग डिफरेंट टू यू. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर दैट समवेयर यू आल्सो वांट, if you have children, you want your children to look up to you. यार डैड के सिक्स पैक है, डैड के बाइसेप्स है. मुझे तो याद है, डैड हैड इतने बाइसेप्स नहीं थे, बट उनके थोड़े से छोटे बाइसेप्स थे. बट उनके बाइसेप्स देख के वी गॉट इन्फ्लुएंस्ड, स्पेशली बिटवीन मी एंड माय ब्रदर. आई थिंक आई गॉट इन्फ्लुएंस मोस्ट के, ओ माय गॉड, डैड हैज दीज बाइसेप्स. आई मीन, तभी तो सोशल मीडिया ये सब नहीं था. तभी हम लोग के जमाने में सिर्फ आर्नल्ड की पिक्चर और रॉकी और ये सारी पिक्चर थी. तो जहां पर अगर डैड के बाइसेप्स देख लिए और डैड ऐसे हाथों पे ऐसे उठाते थे, so it was like, oh wow, I also want this. So I think somewhere as a parent also you want your kids to look up to you. That is also fitness. And then again, at the same time, a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, I think this is my priority, is that when I grow old, I want to be able to be independent. I don't want that I need help or support from somebody to walk to the next room, to get down the stairs, to be able to go to the park, or even to go to the toilet. I want to be independent. And I think that is what fitness means a lot to me. It is never too late to begin, but at the same time, the sooner we start, the better and stronger our foundations will be. Okay, so what are some of the reasons why people you know get stuck and face when they want to really get healthy? एक तो है कि people of course don't know where to begin. Very important aspect. Okay, and I don't blame you because this is not a profession. Your profession is something else. Fitness is something that you want to do on the side to make sure that you're able to do everything else that you want to do, whether it's aesthetics or all the reasons that we basically spoke about. One is definitely you don't know where to begin. Today, because of social media, we don't know who to follow. कौन सच बोल रहा है, कौन सच नहीं बोल रहा है, कौन किसकी बात में मानूं. Okay, ठीक है, looks like, okay, Shivam looks like he's got a good body. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. But it's not necessary that every single person, especially influencers, just because you have made a good body does not mean that you have the experience or the knowledge to speak about it. Yes, you can definitely influence. There's a difference between influencing someone to start working out and coaching someone to work out. Very big difference. So that is something that we as an audience need to understand. कि एक होता है getting influenced by someone. Someone can be a role model. Now, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, that back in the day, they were our role models. But when it came to actually following someone, we also didn't know who to follow. तभी एक मसल फिटनेस करके मैगजीन होती थी. हम लोग लाइब्रेरी में जाके बैठते थे एकदम कोने में, and we used to go to the muscle fitness magazine. Best bicep exercise, best chest exercise, and all bodybuilders. मतलब ऐसे लग रहा था कि if we followed this, we would actually end up looking like that, which was not correct. Exactly, Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is an amazing influencer. He makes you want to be fit. He makes you want to basically go and bat and play cricket the way he does and do everything. But would you take fitness coaching from Virat Kohli? I don't think so. You definitely would put his posters up on the wall. You would put Dhoni's posters up on the wall. By the way, crazy match yesterday. I don't know how many CSK followers over here and how many RCB followers. Some people are covering their face also. But ठीक है यार, may the best man win at the end of the day. So they're great influencers. But would I take fitness coaching from them? I don't think so. But I would still be influenced by them. If he can do it, if he can get up every morning, do his training, play for the country, play, and the way he plays, I honestly, I'll admit something to you, confess to you. I've been a sports person all my life. I've competed at the national level as a swimmer. I was a water polo captain in my college. I've done all of that. But till today, I don't watch any sport. I don't watch cricket. I don't watch football. मुझे किसी के नाम नहीं मालूम, कुछ नहीं. But I love watching the athlete play for his skill. When I see a tennis player, even for 5 minutes, I like to watch the game because it it amazes me by the way they move. The human body is amazing. Whether it's an Olympic lifter, whether it's a gymnast, whether it's a cricketer, when these guys smack the ball the way they do, it's amazing to watch. Not everybody can do it. So that skill, whether it's bowling, whether it's fielding, do I wish I could do that? No, I don't wish. That's not my sport. But I admire them for their skill. I admire them for their passion. I admire a sports person for the hard work he has put into his life to reach where he wants to be. I don't watch any sport, but I really love watching the sports person. Okay, so we don't know who to follow. Again, so we're going to keep that very simple. Gym workout kare, home workout kare. I think one thing we've realized after COVID is that कि घर पे बैठे बैठे भी बॉडी बन सकती है. जिसकी बननी थी उसकी बन गई, जिसकी नहीं बननी थी उसकी और एकदम ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में भी चली गई. So there was both kind of cases. All right, some people ended up putting on weight, people ended up getting really fit. I mean, balcony में मैराथन भागना मजाक है क्या? 10 फीट की balcony में आप मैराथन भाग रहे हो? I mean, come on, that is some insane. I would not be able to do it. I'd go crazy, but people have done it. So what does this tell us? It tells us if you've decided something and if you have the right tools, you can achieve your goal. There is no reason why you cannot. Okay. So home workouts, very much possible. Gym, of course, you've got more variations in the gym, so it's even better. All right. Diet. Oh my God. Pehle to I think 10, 20 years back, there was nothing as diet. There was vegetarian, there was non-vegetarian. Bas, khatam. Story ends over there. अभी वो वेज और नॉन वेज में कितना प्रोटीन खाना है, कितना कार्ब्स खाना है, कितना फैट खाना है, बस वो डिसाइड करना था. फिर आया कीटोजेनिक डाइट, फिर आया इंटरमिटेंट फास्टिंग, फिर आया मालूम नहीं क्या vegan diet and all of that. See, I don't like to call it as a diet because the minute we say diet, it you know straight away we start thinking. Like I said, ketogenic hai, vegan hai, there is liquid diet, all these different kinds of diets. I like to call it nutrition. Okay. First priority, the first thing that you want from food is nutrition. You want to make sure you get your protein, you want to make sure you get your carbs, you want to make sure you get your fat, you get your vitamins, you get your minerals, you get your fiber. That is what nutrition, that is what food is. Yes, nobody likes to eat a bland, uh, food without salt and ubla hua khana. Yes, taste is of course important. We all want to eat a little bit of food that tastes good, that because at the same time we're trying to satisfy the mind as well. But first priority is nutrition. If we understand this, if we can, how many of you I really would like to know, just say yes or me or no. How many of you can eat the same food every single day for lunch and for dinner? Same lunch every single day, same dinner every single day. Yes, Sunday, you might want to indulge your senses a little bit and you might want to do something. Superb, superb. Okay. People who saying no, we will definitely try to change your mindset as well. Don't worry. और नहीं भी हुआ तो कोई बात नहीं, it's okay. But उससे क्या होता है? उससे एक रूटीन बनती है. You're able to build a good routine because see, at the end of the day, food is just food. Today, because of social media and the amount of importance we are giving, again, hopefully by the end of this webinar, you understand that how important training and nutrition is, but you also understand it is not your life. It is a very small part of your life. Your day cannot revolve around the gym and your day cannot revolve around आज क्या खाना है, कल क्या खाना है, लंच में क्या खाना है, कितना खाना है. नहीं, खाना और ट्रेनिंग आपके दिन का एक बहुत ही स्मॉल हिस्सा है. All right, that is what we need to understand. And when we put that into perspective and when we treat it that way, I promise you, you will see your results much faster. All right. सुबह को आप ब्रश करते हो, उसके बाद पूरा दिन ब्रश के बारे में सोचते हो क्या? नहीं. टॉयलेट गए, ब्रश किया, निकले, खत्म, बात ओवर. नाउ दैट एक्शन ऑफ द ब्रशिंग looks after your teeth as it needs to do. Yes, you come back home, you eat dinner, you probably brush again, and that's about it. Then why do we give training and nutrition so much importance कि जब हम जिम में हैं तो खाने के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, अपने दोस्तों से ये बात करें, यार कल तूने डिनर में क्या खाया, तू कहाँ गया, कितनी कैलोरीज खाई. जब हम डिनर टेबल पे हैं तो ट्रेनिंग के बारे में बात करें, आज कितनी बर्पीज मारी, आज कितना डेडलिफ्ट मारा. पहली बात तो जो बात जिधर करनी है उधर करें, और दूसरी कर रहे क्यों है? मुश्किल से we get an hour to train. I keep telling everyone, 1 hour is a luxury. how many people over here can give 1 hour or a little bit more to training? Do you agree that 1 hour of training in today's day and age is a luxury? कि अगर वो 1 घंटा मिले तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. बहुत ऐसे लोग हैं जिनके पास 1 घंटा नहीं है ट्रेन करने के लिए. Absolutely. So then that 1 hour that we get to train or 40 minutes that we get to train, why are we going to the gym and socializing? Clearly, you are here today because you want to know how to make a difference. And trust me, the very first, most important aspect of making a difference is that whatever you do, you give it your 100%. You cannot go to the gym, सबको पहले हाय बोल दिया, अपने ग्रीटिंग्स कर ले, कैसे हो आप, क्या किया कल, घर पे सब ठीक है, उसके बाद फिर आप अपना वार्म अप चालू करोगे. नहीं. Everyone, so many people I meet, they say, no, the gym is my time. It is my time. अरे तो my time है तो अब my time करो ना, दूसरों के हाल जान हाल क्यों पूछ रहे हो आप? बाद में व्हाट्सएप पे बात कर लो, बाद में चैट कर लो, बट व्हेन यू आर इन द जिम, give it your 100% because it's only 40 minutes that you have. You want to leave that workout after 40 minutes feeling, wow, that was a great workout. I am really happy. I am satisfied. Now I don't need to think about the workout at all. Kal ka workout, kal dekhenge. As simple as that. You agree with me? Just give me a thumbs up. Super. Okay. So who is this masterclass for? Masterclass is for beginners, for intermediate people, for advanced people, people who have plateaued in their journey, don't know how to kind of move ahead, people who've had a long break, want to start again, people who just want to do something different. Okay. So let's quickly talk about home workouts. Home workouts definitely has its benefit. Time management is a very big aspect of it. You end up saving a lot of time. All right. You don't have to get stuck in traffic. You don't have to go to the gym, wait for equipment, nothing. You are in the house. Your room is there. Your equipment is there. Boom, you start and it's done. Okay. Great. Limitations. Limitations. Yes, we cannot set up a full gym in the house. Even if we decide to do it with dumbbells and with bands, we put up a pull-up bar in the house, that's still a lot. I swear to you, with dumbbells, you can still achieve everything. But when we want to get better, somewhere we need to increase the amount of load. We want to increase uh, the progressive overload, what we are going to speak about. We need to make sure that we keep on going a little bit heavier every single time. So that is a limitation. ठीक है, because we cannot, and today, fortunately, unfortunately, there are a lot of gym equipment companies also who made the adjustable dumbbells. So they go all the way from 2.5 kgs to 30 kgs. And that is beautiful. ठीक है, बेंच नहीं है, आप फ्लोर पे कर लोगे, फ्लोर प्रेस, बेंच प्रेस आप फ्लोर पे कर लोगे. ठीक है, पुल अप बार नहीं है, बैक गेट्स अ लिटिल बिट डिफिकल्ट, बट देन मूवमेंट गेट्स रिस्ट्रिक्टेड. So limitations are there, but it is still very much possible. Okay. Some of the myths, results can be achieved only under a gym trainer. I don't completely agree. Okay. Results can be achieved doing stuff by yourself as well. When does a gym trainer or a coach come handy? One, he holds you accountable. He's there to push you when you're feeling a little bit low. तो वो जो एक बड़ी सपोर्ट, एक मेंटल सपोर्ट जो रहता है, that a gym trainer can help with. A gym trainer can help because it's his profession, he's learned, he's studying continuously. He can keep changing and tweaking the program depending on how you feel. आज अगर आपका मूड शायद चेस्ट करने का नहीं है, अगर आपको बैक करना है, द ट्रेनर कैन कम एंड क्विकली से ठीक है आज बैक करते हैं, ये एक्सरसाइजेस करते हैं. अरे यार आज मेरे शोल्डर में यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा पेन है, ओके नो प्रॉब्लम, वील डू डिफरेंट मूवमेंट्स व्हिच विल नॉट bother the shoulder in such a way. So an experienced gym trainer is able to tweak and modify things on the spot without wasting too much time. All right, that is definitely one of the most biggest advantages. एक structure रहता है program का. He knows what he's doing. He knows your body. He knows how to mix things up so that you benefit. Most importantly, He can correct your form. Even the best of the best athletes sometimes need to be told, need to be reminded, pull a little bit harder. Keep that elbow close to the body when you're pulling. Come on, squeeze those abs, breathe. These are the things a trainer can basically help you with. But that being said, yes, if you're quite experienced and you know what you're doing, there's no reason why you cannot see results. Maybe with a trainer, maybe under the guidance of a qualified, experienced trainer, जो रिजल्ट्स आपको 6 महीने में आने वाले थे वो शायद आपको 3 महीने में आ जाए. That is an advantage. Need a lot of gym equipment to see results. इसके बारे में we already spoke about. Home gym is definitely an example where only with dumbbells, maybe some bands, you can still see some great results. अलग अलग fat diets follow करने की जरूरत नहीं. And we will be going over nutrition a little bit more in detail as well. कि proteins क्या है, carbs क्या है, fat क्या है, उसको आप कैसे tweak कर सकते हो, कैसे change कर सकते हो. This is the understanding that I'm going to be giving you. तो yes, keto का एक purpose है, intermittent fasting का एक purpose है, वेज नॉन वेज या एनिमल मीट खाने का एक पर्पस है. We'll be speaking about all that, but you don't have to necessarily follow a brand new diet which some celebrity, some you know, someone is doing who you've seen has transformed his body doing the diet. You don't have to. Supplements, supplement, what does supplement mean? Supplement basically means that you are taking either protein or multivitamins from outside because आपके डाइट में वो sufficient नहीं है. कहीं ना कहीं आज डाइट भी और आज जो खाना भी है वो कहीं ना कहीं एक I won't say it has the same nutrition value. It has definitely gone down a little bit just because of the way things are grown. But supplements is something that you can take just for health. Yes, to get better as well, to break your plateaus as well. बट ये सारी चीजें तब डिपेंड करती है कि आपकी ट्रेनिंग इंटेंसिटी कहाँ तक है. अगर आप एक बिगनर हो, अगर आपने अभी अभी नए में ट्रेनिंग चालू की है तो सप्लीमेंट्स की कोई जरूरत नहीं. सप्लीमेंट्स, मैं बोलता हूँ सप्लीमेंट्स या प्रोटीन या क्रिएटिन ये सब जो है वो फास्ट एंड द फ्यूरियस सबने देखी होगी, वो गाड़ी में जो नॉस होता है वो उसकी तरह है. पहले आप गाड़ी को अपनी मैक्सिमम स्पीड, नेचुरली मैक्सिमम स्पीड तक तो लाओ, उसके बाद वो नॉस का बटन दबाना, तब जाके गाड़ी और दूर तक और तेज जाएगी. अगर आप स्टार्टिंग में ही नॉस दबा दोगे तो गाड़ी का जो एक्चुअल पोटेंशियल है दैट यू मिसिंग आउट. तो फर्स्ट रीच द नेचुरल पोटेंशियल ऑफ योर बॉडी, डूइंग एवरीथिंग दैट यू कैन with your training, with your nutrition, with rest and recovery. और उसके बाद you want to put in some supplements, you want to add some creatine. I'm going to share a list of some supplements that you can take. I'll be sharing it on the group with you guys after the webinar is also done. And you can use the coupon code to get those supplements as well. Okay. Okay, difference between exercise and training. Yeah, I think this is a very important aspect. सब बोलते हैं यार I exercise, but the question is, do you train? Taking a dog for a walk is also exercise. It's being active. You're walking, you're still burning some calories. अच्छी सी हवा मिल रही है. It is still exercise. Climbing stairs, still exercise, but it's not training. Training is specifically something with intent, something with resistance, something with weights. That is called training. Training is a little bit more structured rather than just exercise. But both of this there has to be a combination of both. There has to be a combination. Agar if you've had a very long day, you've traveled from somewhere 24 hours, 48 hours, or you've had busy deadlines at work, और उसके बाद भी अगर आप घर पे आके बोलोगे कि यार मुझे जिम जाना है, मैं जिम जाऊंगा, then that's not the best thing to do because your body is already so tired, your mind is already so tired, is already stressed out. Physical exercise is also stress. You don't want to go and stress it out even more. Ush time pe, if you take your dog for a walk, listen to some nice soothing music, that will actually help you. It will benefit you much more than going to the gym. Please understand, tomorrow, if you come home from work or from wherever and you've had a very difficult day and a tiring day, you don't have to push yourself to go to the gym. Mind over matter बोलते हैं, yes, that's true, but हर चीज में जरूरी नहीं है. You don't have to always push the boundaries. We need to learn when to step back, when to relax, because rest, recovery, relaxation is also as important as training. Your body grows, your body repairs itself, it builds anabolic window जो बोलते हैं, जहां पर basically anabolic का मतलब growth. वो growth तभी होता है when we are well rested, when we are eating, when the body is relaxed. Under stress, there will be no repair happening, no growth happening. You are only killing yourself more and little every single day. So promise yourself and trust me, एक दिन अगर वर्कआउट नहीं भी किया ना, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. घर पे आओ, नेटफ्लिक्स चालू करो, पैर ऊपर रखो, एसी चालू करो, अपना मनपसंद खाना मंगाओ and relax. The body requires that as well. You don't always have to keep pushing the body. So some days it's absolutely fine to take a step back and say, आज मैं जिम नहीं जाने वाला, please, it's okay. And the body will be absolutely fine. So how do we actually stay fit, stay healthy, stay well? Improving our body composition. What is body composition? When people say कि मुझे weight loss करना है, I ask them simple question. Weight loss, आपको पता है weight loss क्या है? बोलते हैं हाँ, मुझे fat कम करना है. ठीक है, correct. But a lot of people don't know कि weight loss, when we're talking about weight loss, there are three things that we can lose in the body to reduce the weight. That is under our control. Fat, definitely. Water, definitely. And muscle. Back in the day, long back, old school thinking, nutritionists and dietitians, when used to go to them or used to go to them और से कि मुझे weight loss करना है, वो आपको बोलते थे ठीक है, आप ये सब करो पर जिम जाना छोड़ दो, आप weights नहीं उठाओगे. Why? Because if you're lifting weights, you're gaining muscle, you're growing muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat. तो क्लियरली स्केल पे उतना डिफरेंस नहीं आएगा. आप इंचेस शायद कम करोगे बट स्केल पे वेट घटेगा नहीं. और लोग तभी क्या थे, आज भी है, कि जब तक स्केल पे द नीडल डज नॉट मूव, आई एम नॉट हैप्पी. So we'll be talking about that also, okay, how to not worry about the scale. So improving body composition is all about improving your lean muscle mass, reducing body fat. These two things. It all depends on that. Okay. Reducing body fat, increasing muscle, improving your cardiovascular health. Everybody knows the importance of the heart and the lungs. Okay. So when we're talking about cardiovascular health, any kind of training will work on your cardiovascular system. You don't have to jump on a treadmill. You don't have to do cross trainer. You don't have to cycle. You don't have to swim. Only these exercise usually हम लोग जब बोलते हैं कार्डियो करना है, तो हम लोग को लगता है सर मैं कार्डियो करना है, ओके कितना देर का ट्रेडमिल पे चलूं, कितना क्रॉस ट्रेनर करूं, कितना साइकिल करूं. कार्डियो का मतलब वो होता है, बेसिकली कार्डियो मींस एनी एक्टिविटी दैट engages the heart and the lungs. उसका मतलब है कार्डियो. कार्डियो कैन ऑल्सो बी अचीव्ड विथ वेट्स. आप अगर थोड़ा सा फंक्शनल करोगे, if you do maybe 15 to 20 repetitions of say bench press, alternate with seated row, you keep minimal rest, do 3 to 4 sets. That is also cardio. In that 3 to 4 sets, your heart rate is going through the roof, your breathing is going a little haywire. Same thing. The reason we say, and we'll talk about this, okay, what is the importance of cardio? The reason we say, okay, do the treadmill or do some walking is also because the body needs some movement rather than just the lifting weights wala movement. It just needs to be active overall. So the cycling, the skipping, the rowing, the swimming, that also helps a lot. Okay. So importance of weight training. The biggest reason you want to weight train is to increase your muscle mass. Today, muscle is regarded as the biggest organ in the body. Okay? Pehle, we used to think that skin is the biggest organ, but today muscle is regarded as the biggest organ in the body. Muscle is, they say, is metabolically active. What does that mean? It means that it is actually alive. अगर आप मसल को न्यूट्रिशन नहीं दोगे, खाना नहीं दोगे और एक्टिविटी नहीं दोगे एज रेजिस्टेंस ट्रेनिंग, योर मसल विल एक्चुअली वेस्ट अवे. आपने रियलाइज किया होगा, या तो यू और somebody you've seen, if anyone has had a fracture either in the leg or the arm, वो फ्रैक्चर निकलने के बाद you can tell a massive difference between both the sides of the arms or the legs. Muscle completely wastes away because there is no resistance training at all. All right. So we want to make sure that we always keep our lean muscle mass at a healthy amount in the body. Plus, muscle has a lot of different benefits. When people say, "Ke, sir, I think my metabolic rate is reducing. What should I do? Is it true that with age my metabolic rate reduces?" Yes, somewhere that is true, but it is not the complete truth. As we grow older, automatically the machinery slows down. It is a very normal thing. But by improving the muscle mass, by doing weight training, we can keep the muscle weight or the BMR efficient relative to where it needs to be. If you're 50, 60 years old, आपका metabolic rate might not be the same as when you were 20, but it will be the best it can be at 50 or 60, provided we make sure that there's good amount of muscle mass. और metabolic rate का benefit क्या है, we'll speak a little bit later when we come to nutrition. Muscle has another great quality. It helps in balancing the blood glucose level. जब आप कुछ भी खाते हो, any carbs that you eat, it spikes your glucose levels in the blood. All right, blood glucose goes up. Blood glucose goes up. उसको balance करने के लिए pancreas जो है insulin release करती है. Everyone has heard of this. Insulin क्या है? Insulin is basically a transporter. It transports nutrition, especially the glucose from the blood, in two places, the muscles and the liver. Now, if you are a weight training individual, if you are training, the muscle cells will always be hungry for sugar because they are active, they are alive. Just because आज आपका rest day है, उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि your muscles are inactive. They are still hungry for nutrition because you're doing a good amount of weight training. So the blood glucose, which gets carried away from the blood, will go and get settled into the muscles and will energize it, will help in repair, will help it in growth. उसके बाद वो जाके liver में जाता है. ठीक है? For a person who does not do weight training, that this is a problem. Because where does the glucose go? Muscle को तो जरूरत नहीं है glycogen glucose की, extra glucose की, so it will go into the liver. From the liver, when it gets stored over there, in the entire process of basically putting it away as energy, it converts it and then basically stores it away. तभी जाके आपका body fat बढ़ता है. Body fat तभी बढ़ता है when basically you are not doing enough of weight training, your muscles are not active enough, and ऊपर से you're eating much more than what is required. So it helps in balancing blood glucose levels. And because of this entire process, it also balances or prevents the body from storing excess fat. I promise you, you can do cardio, not a problem, which means treadmill, cross trainer. But if you start lifting weights and you are not weak, 5 kgs is not your limit. Today it's 5 kgs. A week later it'll be 7.5. Then it'll be 10 kgs. You are strong. अगर उठाना पड़े तो आप वजन उठा लोगे. ना जिम के नहीं, जिम के बाहर भी अगर कुछ उठाना पड़े, किसको कुछ ऐसी जरूरत आए, ऐसा कुछ सिचुएशन आए, you will lift the weight. The point being that you are actually strong. You're not that weak. But we have to treat it a little differently in the gym. And I guarantee you that if you start weight training, I promise you that you will lose weight and body fat much faster than you would lose just walking on the treadmill. दोनों का combination भी करना है. It is important. But just the treadmill is not going to help. Of course, making sure that we eat properly as well. It helps in increasing bone density. How? Muscles are attached to the bone. Whenever you do any kind of resistance training, the muscle pulls on the bone. This pulling is what makes the bone stronger. Okay. Joint health, same reason. One very important reason. As people get older, we all have known people who have fallen, broken their hips, either hurt their knee, their ankles, and then something or the other keeps going wrong. The hip just never heals. So muscle, there are two types. Everybody knows there's one fast twitch muscle fiber, there is slow twitch muscle fiber. Fast twitch muscle fiber आपके वो होते हैं जो basically explosiveness, sudden movements उसमें help करते हैं. Slow twitch muscle fibers आपके वो होते हैं which basically help you lift heavy weight. Slow movements, but they help you lift heavy weight. When you fall or when you're about to fall, when you slip, both these muscle fibers come into play. एक मसल फाइबर जो है आपका एक्सप्लोसिव वाला फास्ट ट्विच फाइबर दैट एक्ट्स रियली फास्ट एंड हेल्प्स यू पुट दैट लेग इन फ्रंट और बिहाइंड टू ब्रेक दैट फॉल टू बैलेंस योरसेल्फ. The slow twitch muscle fibers, depending on the strength of your slow twitch fibers, that will break your fall, will not let you fall. You'll be able to control your body weight and you'll balance yourself. This is one most important reason why you need to weight train so that you can keep training your muscle. Taki when we grow older and we happen to slip or we're about to fall, we can break that fall. That is why even elderly people, currently I'm training Mr. Bachchan as well, he's 82, and we still do 1 hour of weight training every single day. कम करेंगे थोड़ा करेंगे बट सब करेंगे चेस्ट करेंगे बैक करेंगे बाइसेप ट्राइसेप शोल्डर्स लेग्स plank everything. Okay, and he is 82. I'm not even trying to, don't even consider him as Mr. Bachchan, just consider him as a normal human being who at 82 still manages to go to the gym every single day and still train for an hour. If that man can do it, then what is our excuse? दो सेट करो ना. रोज नहीं करना है रोज मत करो हफ्ते में 3 दिन तो कर सकते हैं वेट ट्रेनिंग 2 दिन तो कर सकते हैं. Today science has also proven that even 2 days of a good weight training workout will help you still get the results. Yes, maybe aesthetically you will not change, but उसकी जो अंदर सारी जो ये जो benefits है जैसे strength building, your increasing muscle mass, bone density, joint health, helping balance your blood glucose levels, helping you store less fat, ये सारी जो benefits है muscle की aesthetic benefits नहीं. These will still happen if you weight train at least twice a week with good amount of weight. Okay. All right. Progressive overload. So weight training के साथ प्रोग्रेसिव ओवरलोड बहुत जरूरी है. एक या दो रीजंस हैं. अगर आप जिम में आप नोटिस करोगे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो जिम तो जाते हैं बट कहीं ना कहीं दे हैव नॉट बीन एबल टू सी रिजल्ट्स. वो लास्ट 5 साल 10 साल से वैसे के वैसे ही दिखते हैं. क्यों? दो रीजन. एक तो है मे बी यस दे डोंट नो व्हाट दे आर डूइंग. They are afraid of pushing themselves a little bit more because they're not sure about the form. Second, they are not okay or comfortable with pushing more weight. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया, your body is very intelligent and stupid at the same time. आपकी बॉडी वीक नहीं है, आपकी बॉडी बहुत स्ट्रांग है, बट आपको उसे ट्रेन करने की जरूरत है. आज आप बिगनर हो, यू स्टार्ट गोइंग टू द जिम, बेंच प्रेस पे आप 5 5 केजी 2.5 केजी इधर 2.5 केजी यहाँ पर और आप बेंच प्रेस पे स्मिथ मशीन पे बेंच मारोगे. यस दैट लेस वेट इज इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज पहले तो आपको सीखना है टेक्निक, सीखना है फॉर्म, सीखनी है. टेक्निक और फॉर्म के बाद आता है कंसिस्टेंसी. मतलब योर फर्स्ट रेप, योर लास्ट रेप in your first set and last set looks exactly the same, where you understand what the form is all about and you're able to feel the movement. एक बार वो हो गया, then comes intensity. Then you start adding the weight. And like I said, so the body's main goal is survival. It needs to survive. Okay. So what it does to survive, it adapts. तो आज आपने 5 kg के साथ बेंच प्रेस मारा, कल आपने 10 kg के साथ किया, ऑटोमेटिकली द बॉडी गोस, ओह वेट, आज तो वेट ज्यादा है, ओके, let me get used to the weight, let me get stronger so I can lift this weight. So the body adapts. It gets a little bit stronger. It gets a little bit fitter. It automatically recruits a little bit more muscle, a little bit more of everything to help you push that weight. अब क्या होता है, for 1 week or 10 days, when you're doing that, एक बार वो adaptation आता है, वो adaptation के बाद progress happens. Because in that point of adaptation where the body said, now let me start building new muscle, let me get you stronger, because abhi I don't think this body is going to be lifting 5 kgs anymore. It's moved to 10 kgs. So clearly now it adapts. In that adaptation is where that progress happens. Now that progress is that adapted state, that new part is your new you. पहले था वो 5 kg वाला, अभी आपकी बॉडी चेंज हो चुकी है, मसल बिल्ड हुआ है, आप स्ट्रॉन्गर हो चुके हो, दैट बिकम्स द न्यू यू. नाउ अगेन आफ्टर 10 days you will maybe from 10 you won't jump to 15 but you'll jump to 12.5, then from 12.5 you jump to 15. कहीं ना कहीं वो वेट आके भी एक लिमिटेशन बनने वाला है, करेक्ट. We're not always going to keep climbing every week. We're not going to keep increasing 2.5, 2.5. It's not that easy. At some point, you will reach your potential and you will stop. Fair enough. Now, how do we progressively overload? The progressive overload में there are 4 or 5 different ways to do it. एक हो गया load increase, weight increase. Second, doing more work. तो पहले आपने 15, अभी आप 15 kg पे आके रुक गए. You tried 17.5, but it was not happening. No need to get taken back or sad. It's okay. It's normal. Now the body needs to change in a different way. So what we end up doing, पहले आप 15 kg पे 8 rep मार रहे थे. Now our aim is to drop the weight a little bit to 12.5 and do 10 reps or 12 reps. So we increase the work that is being done. So technically you still ended up lifting much more than what you were lifting before. पहले आप 15 kg पे 8 रेप लिफ्ट कर रहे थे, अभी वो नहीं हो रहा उससे ज्यादा, तो आप वेट को थोड़ा सा गिरा के यू विल इंक्रीज द वर्क. So that is the second way of progressive overload, where you increase the work. Next, in this, what can you do? You can reduce the rest. So you were taking 1 minute of rest between every set. Now you can reduce it to 45 seconds. You can reduce it to 30 seconds. You can reduce it to 15 seconds. That means now your cardio system is getting faster and getting better and getting fitter. आपको उतनी अभी रेस्ट की जरूरत नहीं है. Your recovery is happening much faster. So there are different ways of doing things, but you need to understand how your body is feeling. Today you get up from bed, you go to the gym, your body is feeling amazing. Go all out. Challenge yourself in whichever way possible. Okay, मैंने आज तक किसी भी क्लाइंट को अपने वेट नहीं लिख के दिया है कि आज आप 10 रेप करोगे उस पे आप 20 kg मारोगे, कभी नहीं. बिकॉज टुडे यू वोक अप फ्रॉम बेड, यू हैड अ गुड स्लीप, you've eaten well, you're well rested, you're feeling good, you go to the gym, automatically you'll be able to push more than 20 kgs. Say you woke up, you didn't have a good sleep. Say you've not eaten well the last night. दिमाग में कुछ ना कुछ चल रहा है, but you still want to go to the gym. That day you might lift a little bit lesser. So there is no reason why you should put an expectation on yourself कि आज मैं lift करूंगा ही. Yesterday I was at the gym and I ended up doing a deadlift. Plan was just to do a deadlift. So started with 100 kg, started with, then depending on how I felt, went on increasing the weight, went on increasing the weight. Or कहीं ना कहीं when I train, when I increase the weight, I don't see the repetitions. I don't see the weight. Depending on how I'm feeling and how the last set was, Accordingly, I'll add some weight. By default, you end up getting to know how much you're lifting. But point being, my focus is all on. Okay, my last set was 6 reps. It was a little bit of a struggle, but it wasn't heavy. Okay, next set, I'm going to do 4 reps. Let me add a little bit more weight. So that way also you can train. You can listen to your body and challenge your body in very different ways. And one more thing, last thing that you can do is tempo or the speed of the movement. Ismay, of course, a lot of people have heard when we're lifting. All right, come on, 3 seconds down, 1, 2, 3. Okay, explode up. Okay, 3 seconds down, 5 seconds up. So 8 seconds ka rep ho jata hai. Somewhere it is 3 seconds. So you can keep playing with the speed of the repetition as well. One thing I will tell you that probably no coach will tell you. Whatever workout you plan is 100% right. There is no wrong. I can give that to you in writing, and I let anybody argue that. Simple example, bodybuilding stage पे कितने athlete होते हैं? 10, 20, 30. If I was a judge, I'd give them all first prize because I don't know how to judge, but their physiques look amazing, correct? But all of them are following a completely different program under a different coach. So who is to say that Joe, of course, there are other aspects that come into being as well, somewhere the genetics come into being and all of that, little bit extra hard work, but mainly in the bodybuilding aspect, it is more about the anatomical position of the muscles. All right, some are longer, some are shorter, so it is the shape of the muscle and it is genetics. When we are talking about bodybuilding as a sport, hard work is exactly the same. Everyone has a bloody 36-inch thigh, 24 inches biceps. मतलब हम जो ख्याल में देखते हैं वो सबके हैं उधर, बट कहीं ना कहीं किसका शेप, किसके proportions, and the proportions are all based on their anatomy. All right, they didn't do anything wrong. Point being, every single bodybuilding coach or athlete has followed a completely different program, then how can we say that this person's program was the best or this person's program was the best? Yes, someone with a little bit more experience and knowledge, his program might be a little bit more efficient, not correct. So you, again, as long as you're lifting weight, you're doing everything perfectly. I promise you that. Whether you do 3 sets of bicep curls or whether you do 4 sets of bicep curls, whether you do 3 variations, whether you do 4 variations, it does not matter. Yes, by following the program of an experienced coach, your results might be a little bit quicker and a little bit more efficient, but there is no wrong way of doing it. Okay, and there is not only one right way. Everyone is unique, and what works for you might not work for the other person. So one thing you can definitely be calm and happy about in your mind is that no matter what you train, आपकी body बनेगी, 100% बनेगी. Yes, जैसे मैंने बोला 6 महीने की जगह वो शायद 1 साल में बनेगी, पर मसल्स को तो सिर्फ टेंशन मालूम है. Muscles only recognize resistance. How you basically stress that muscle, whether it's with weight, whether it's with work, volume, whether it's with speed, which is tempo, or whether it's with the rest period, range of motion. It does not care. आप इन पांचों में से कुछ भी एक यूज करो, एवरी हफ्ते चेंज करते रहो, 100% you will change. Your body will change. All right. The only reason you always do it under the guidance of a coach is because he makes your program more efficient so that you don't have to waste 1 year. You can get the results in 5 months. All right. Okay. I think people is asking for a break. Do you want a 5 minute break? You want to probably go to the toilet, have some water or something? ठीक है. आप तो नहीं बोल रहे हो, बाकी जिसको टॉयलेट जाना है उसका क्या? अच्छा, ठीक है, 5 मिनट का ब्रेक लेते, no problem. All right, we'll be exactly back in 5 minutes. All right, I'm just going to go through the chats and see if there's any questions. Okay, see you guys in exactly 5 minutes. We might go a little bit, I don't know, more than 2 hours. Of course, I understand that you probably have places to be, but that's okay. Those who can stay would be great because I want to make sure that we end up covering everything. And yeah, might be a little bit over. Okay, so we spoke about muscles, the importance of muscles, health benefits from the longevity aspect, from the blood glucose aspect, from being able to store excess fat. Okay, let's talk about cardio. Okay, so of course, like we said, what is cardio? Cardio is um, anything, any movement, any training type that engages the heart and lungs. That is what cardio is all about. Okay. Now, how do we incorporate cardio in our training? Firstly, why do we do cardio? A lot of people do cardio because they say कि उससे weight loss होगा, उससे basically fat loss होगा, and you're not wrong. You're right. But if you do extensive cardio, when I say extensive cardio, मतलब 2 घंटा 3 घंटा आप सिर्फ चलते जा रहे हो, ओके रनिंग कर रहे हो, जॉगिंग कर रहे हो, फिर वापस शाम को you're going for a walk. That kind of cardio is basically detrimental to your health. Why? Because that much cardio is going to end up in you losing muscle. But if you are someone who is weight training, okay, then that little bit of cardio is absolutely fine. Then 30 minutes to 40 minutes cardio is absolutely okay. Then if you even, so say you want to do 30 minutes of cardio before your weight training, and this is for someone who I'm talking who has the luxury of time. All right. 30 minutes of cardio before the workout. You want to finish your 1 hour workout, go home. In the evening, you want to maybe do another 30 minutes. That's also fine. Think about it. Whether you do 30 minutes of cardio on a treadmill or you do 30 minutes of cardio, which is 10 minutes 3 times a day, how is it different? You're walking, you're active the same way, all right, you're burning the same amount of calories. It's not different. So, if you don't have access to a treadmill and you don't, or you cannot exercise, or you cannot do cardio for 30 minutes at a stretch, as long as you even do 30 minutes throughout the day, it is absolutely fine. Life, our body, training, nutrition, everything, it cannot be put into such a strong structure. It says that as long as you're giving me all this, I am fine. I will do what is needed. ऐसे नहीं कि नहीं मुझे 30 मिनट ही कार्डियो कराओगे तो ही मैं वेट लॉस करूंगा. आप मुझे अगर 1 घंटे की वेट ट्रेनिंग कराओगे तो ही मैं मसल बिल्ड करूंगा. The body doesn't work that way. So even if you do cardio 3 times a day, 10 minutes, that is also fine. It's absolutely okay. Now, there is a reason why people say, okay, do fasted state cardio, empty stomach cardio. Okay, now there is a logic to it. Not everything is 100% right and 100% wrong. We have to kind of ask the right kind of questions. Okay, so you've basically had your last meal at 7:38 in the evening. From 8 o'clock in the evening to say 8 o'clock in the morning, that's 12 hours of fasting. Okay. Just because it's not 16 hours doesn't mean it's not intermittent fasting. It is still fasting. Now, in that 12 hours, your body has basically used up as much glycogen as it needs to. There was no activity, so it's there. And in your sleep, the body tends to use fat as a fuel because firstly it needs oxygen. We're going to be speaking about this a little bit later, but it prefers to use fat when you're just sitting and doing nothing, when you are sleeping at that point. Now, because there is no excess glucose in the system, you've not had a meal because you're in a fasted state. Insulin levels are also very low. Okay. Because of this, when insulin levels are low, there is another hormone which gets released, which is called glucagon. Insulin and glucagon both are released in the pancreas. Insulin basically promotes fat, fat storage. It is what carries the glucose from the blood into the muscle. When insulin is low, glucagon increases. Glucagon mobilizes fat. All right. That is what glucagon does. So in a fasted state, your glucagon levels are higher, which means that your fat is getting more mobilized. That is why they say, okay, do empty stomach or fasted state cardio, because at that point, because your insulin levels are low, glucagon levels are high, you are bound to burn more fat than usual. This does not mean, okay, you will burn 100% more. The changes are very small, but it all acts together. It's not that you're going to burn 3% body fat just by doing fasted state cardio in 2 or 3 days, but it helps. It assists. There is no one way of losing body fat. When every other factor comes together, that is when it makes it more efficient. That is all we basically need to understand. Okay, how do we bring everything into balance and do all the right things so that we can make the fat loss better and more efficient? So that is why morning cardio or empty stomach cardio, fasted state cardio works better. Now, why do we do cardio for weight loss or fat loss? Fat needs oxygen to burn. Okay. When fat basically goes into the muscle cells to produce energy, it goes into the mitochondria of the cell. We've all learned this in school. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That is where the energy or ATP generation happens. When fat enters the mitochondria, it needs oxygen. Now, if you're doing a very hard workout, if you're doing functional training, if you're sprinting, you're not able to breathe properly. You're not able to take in oxygen properly. That is why long distance, steady state cardio at moderate intensity always helps in burning and assisting to burn more body fat. Are we clear with that? Is that quite simple to understand? Just give me a thumbs up. Or you can write in the chat as well. Perfect. Super. Now, you say, okay, great. So you're saying morning empty state cardio helps. But what if I can't do empty state cardio? What if I can't go to the gym in the morning? Then what do I do? Again, it actually does not matter that much. Like I said, it assists, it helps. But if you do your cardio during your weight training session as well, that is also fine. Okay, but do I do it before the weight training? Do I do it after the weight training? Well, if your cardio is just walking and you're going to be doing a very intense weight training session, then you can do just a 20-minute walk or a 15-minute walk just to kind of warm up the body, then move to your weight training, finish with your 15-minute walk after the weight training as well, if that's what you can do. If you're saying, कि नहीं आज मैं cardio में I'm going to be doing a little bit of sprinting, I'm going to be doing a little bit of jogging, then it might not be the best time to do it before the weight training session. Because what is your priority? Your priority should always be your weight training session. Cardio can be adjusted accordingly. So then either you basically do it at a different time in the day, okay? Because even after your weight training session, you're going to be tired. All right. You're not going to be able to give your sprinting or jogging 100%. So might as well do it at another time, either another time in the day or alternate between days, one day weight training, one day cardio, one day weight training, one day cardio. That is also what you can do. Now, functional training. So functional training is basically what? Functional training came into being after we all heard of CrossFit, about interval training, about battle ropes, and all of that. Functional training is basic. Functional training can be done either with body weight, can be done with normal weights, can be done with cardio movements, can be done with anything. The point of functional training is to create a 12 or 15-minute high intensity workout. Now, that intensity, you say, "All right, but sir, what is high intensity?" Intensity is around when you're doing a functional training workout, you want to keep the intensity between, say, 70 to 80% of your max. Okay. But please understand, my 80% is going to be something, your 80% is going to be something. You don't have to work according to my 80%. You have to work according to your 80%. But how you feel at 80% of your intensity is the same as what I will feel at my 80%. So intensity basically has to be quite high. Now, another benefit of functional training is when we talk about fat loss, how does fat, which is stored in the body, how does it get used for energy? So ek to we spoke about glucagon, which is a hormone. When insulin is low, the glucagon increases, that mobilizes the fat. Secondly, when we do anything intense, like a functional training workout, everyone has heard of the word or the hormone adrenaline. Adrenaline, when gets released, again helps in mobilizing the fat. It mobilizes the fat. The fat is now in the bloodstream. From the bloodstream, it gets carried into the muscle, where it goes into the cells and gets used up for energy. Okay? But you want to make sure that that intensity or the high intensity functional workout does not go on for more than 15 minutes. If it goes on for more than 15 minutes, that's when it becomes an issue. That's when you start releasing cortisol, and then again, different kind of a mechanism begins. 12 to 15 minutes is enough for you to mobilize the good amount of fat in the body so that it can get used up. Now it is basically into the muscle cells, it's getting used up for energy. So 12 to 15 minutes of functional training followed by a good 30 minutes of weight training will benefit the most. Okay, because again in weight training, glycogen तो आपका starting में ही खत्म हो जाएगा. In the first 10-15 minutes only, all your glycogen stores will be over. अभी बचा क्या? बचा fat. So now your fat will start getting burned for energy. Okay, glycogen is very limited in the muscle. The more contractions you do, the more bicep curls, bench press you do at a decently heavy weight, the faster you will end up finishing the glycogen stores within the muscle. Now, because there's already fat over there saved up for energy, the body will start using fat for energy. All right. Plus, during weight training, one thing I like to always say, one breath, one rep, one breath, one rep. Because when you do this, you end up breathing properly. We already spoke that fat burns in the presence of oxygen. Functional training method, you will not be able to control this. Breath goes all out of sync. But in weight training is when you can actually control, you can breathe in properly, breathe out, push, one rep, one breath. Okay? So functional training can be done. Again, you cannot go wrong in functional training. Don't keep it more than 4 or 5 exercises. Whether you do in those 4 exercises, whether you do one upper body, one lower body, one core, one cardio, whether you do two push, two pull, whether you do all push, whether you do all pull, all right, whether you do three push, one cardio, permutation combinations can be unlimited. Be as creative as you can. And most importantly, don't try to be a hero. Choose a movement which you like. Choose a movement which you can do efficiently. That's the most amazing part. See, we're not athletes. If we were athletes, that's a different thing. We are not athletes today. Today we're trying to be healthy. Today we're trying to be fit. Today we want to basically achieve our goals working smartly, okay, not too hard. Results are possible by working smartly. You don't always have to kill yourself in the gym. अरे यार आज तो मैं मर गया, अरे गलत वर्कआउट किया इसलिए तो मर गए. Workout ke baad, you should be feeling good, you should be feeling happy, you should be able to smile, you should be able to laugh, and walk out of the gym. If you have someone has to come and drag you outside the gym, there's no point. That means completely you've done something very wrong. As an athlete, that might work. For us, it does not work, including myself. All my workouts are planned in a way where I like to do things that are either my favorite or I'm good at. कर लिया वो सब, मतलब जो एक्सपेरिमेंटल के लिए करना था या कुछ भी अपने आप को प्रूव करने के लिए करना था, वो सब कर लिया. There's no point of doing all of that anymore. Why? I don't see a point. Done CrossFit for 20 years. There's no point in doing CrossFit again. Yes, some of the movements of CrossFit are fun. जैसे clean and jerk हो गया, कि snatch हुआ, kettlebell swings हुआ, handstand push-ups. I like those movements, so I incorporate them in the training. But I don't need to kill myself doing CrossFit. जहाँ 10 मिनट के वर्कआउट के बाद आधा घंटा आप जमीन पे लेटे हुए हो, उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. We don't need to do that. So understanding and having clarity of our goal is very important, and to understand that it can be achieved by doing smart work and not killing ourselves in the gym. Okay. So you can design the functional workout as you like. Remember, 15 minutes is your target. Usse zyada nahi. 12 minutes or 15. You can keep it in between this. Whether you do like a Tabata style, which is 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, whether you do 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, whether you do 1 minute of each exercise, 4 exercises followed by 1 minute of rest, do whatever you like, but make sure that in that 40 seconds or 20 seconds, you're doing good amount of work. ऐसे नहीं कि you chose a weight by mistake, और mistakes होगी भी, it's okay, but you chose a weight जहाँ से सिर्फ 2 या 3 रेप हुए, उसका मतलब नहीं हुआ. Then that's not really, वो functional training का वो फिर फंडा उसमें it doesn't fit. You want to try and get as many reps as possible, but making sure that your technique is form is also very consistent. Okay. So functional training, body weight with weights, bodybuilding movements, functional movements, cardio movements, you can do with any of them, combine them, keep it to a maximum of 4 movements, keep it to between 12 minutes and 15 minutes, usually before your weight training session. कि उसके बाद आपको वो इंटेंसिटी लाने की ताकत नहीं रहेगी. But you'll be surprised that after a 12 or 15-minute functional workout, you'll actually have the strength to push a decent amount of weight. See, because the muscles are already tired, the glycogen stores are already empty. So now you don't really need a warm up. You don't really need to also lift that heavy. At a mediocre weight, you will still be able to get the benefits. One another really important benefit of this is that you avoid the chances of an injury. So if where you would normally say bench, say maybe 100 kgs at 2 reps, now when you go after a functional, even if you do 60 kgs, you will still see better results. You'll still see good results, and your chest will be still as worked. Now you're not even going as heavy, where you're really struggling with those 2 reps. अभी वो 60 kgs or 50 kgs के साथ 10 rep 12 rep आराम से जा रहे हैं. So your technique is good, your form is good, consistency is good, chances of injury are less. So that is when you incorporate the functional training aspect. Okay. Now functional training was clear. Okay. Cardio was clear. Weight training aspect was clear. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about improving body composition. Okay. So again, like we said, body composition is all about improving your muscle mass, reducing your body fat, and that is what improves a body composition. जब आप कोई भी वो बॉडी कॉम्पोजिशन स्केल पे खड़े रहोगे, ये दो चीज आती है, एक बॉडी फैट परसेंटेज आता है और एक लीन मसल मास. ठीक है. So how do we do that? By training, by diet, sleep, supplements, stress management. So training, we've already spoken about. Your goal in training is to improve your muscle quality and quantity, lean muscle mass. That is what you want to do with your weight training. That is what your goal needs to be. Improved quality and quantity of muscle will help you in improving your metabolic rate. Metabolic rate, we'll speak about it a little bit now. What is your BMR? Your BMR, or your basic metabolic rate, is the energy that your body requires to survive. अगर आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, अगर आप बैठे हुए हो, सो रहे हो, और आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, तो उस टाइम पे जो भी एनर्जी इज बीइंग यूज्ड बाय द बॉडी टू बेसिकली keep the organs alive, keep the brain alive, keep the heart pumping, that is called your basic metabolic rate. Okay. Improving that can only happen when you improve your muscle quality, because we spoke muscle is alive. It is called metabolically alive, active. That means it needs food and it needs activity. Okay. So the more muscle you have, think about कि उसको alive रखने के लिए, so that no wastage happens, how much more energy will be required. So automatically, I heard this really amazing saying in one of the podcasts. They said your body should be very efficient in burning energy and very inefficient in saving energy. Makes sense? So you want to be literally like a sports car. Your body needs to be like a sports car. कि फ्यूल डाला, इग्निशन चालू किया, फ्यूल खत्म. ऐसे नहीं कि भाई ये कितना देती है, अरे चलेगी 400 किलोमीटर आराम से चलेगी, नहीं, वो वाली इंजन नहीं चाहिए अपने को. वी वांट भाई, वो अगले सिग्नल तक पेट्रोल खत्म होने वाला है. सो यू वांट टू ईट, it needs to be used. You want to eat, it needs to be used. And whatever little is, see, body fat will always get stored because that is the nature of the body. It stores, always it stores a little bit of body fat as reserve. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि द फैट इज गोइंग इनटू अ प्रिजन और वहां से कभी बाहर ही नहीं निकलेगा. इट इज जस्ट देयर फॉर एनर्जी. अभी उसके बाद आप कैसी एक्टिविटी करोगे, उसके बाद आप कैसा खाना खाओगे, then that influences amount of body fat that is being stored and what is being used. ठीक है, तो storing body fat is not a bad thing. We all need the body fat. It is a very important aspect of us being healthy and being well. But अगर हाँ, if we end up storing more than what we are burning, then that becomes a problem. Okay, so basic metabolic rate is what will help you burn the maximum amount of energy. Sorry, one more thing I wanted to talk about: functional training. So when it comes to losing body fat, um, we are basically talking about, or when it comes to losing weight, we are talking about burning more calories than what we consume. Correct. Everybody knows that. It's as simple as that. अभी वो calories कहाँ से आ रही है, that is a separate topic. But as long as you burn more calories than what you consume, you will lose weight. If you burn less than what you're consuming, you will gain weight. Simple as that. Functional training, what functional training basically does is, in that 15 minutes of high intensity workout, you will actually burn a lot of calories. ठीक है, 15 मिनट में you will burn a lot many calories than what you would burn of 15 minutes of just walking on the treadmill or the cross trainer or cycling or whatever. Plus, the effect that your body goes through during that 15 minutes. Abhi, it's gone through some crazy effect. Your nervous system is all fired up, your body is all fired up. Now it needs to calm down, it needs to relax. Post exercise oxygen consumption. This is something that happens after a workout. This basically means that your body needs to now recover, and to recover, it will burn more energy. All right. So it burns more energy to reach a state of equilibrium. Okay. बॉडी में दो प्रोसेस होते हैं. मेटाबॉलिज्म की जब हम बात करते हैं तो बॉडी में दो प्रोसेस होते हैं. एक होता है कैटाबॉलिज्म, एक होता है एनाबॉलिज्म. कैटाबॉलिज्म का मतलब ये कि द बॉडी ब्रेक्स थिंग्स डाउन टू रिलीज एनर्जी. एंड एनाबॉलिज्म का मतलब वो होता है वेयर इट बेसिकली गेट्स थिंग्स टुगेदर, सो इट यूजेस एनर्जी टू बिल्ड. That is basically what is called as anabolism. So when we are talking about the body trying to recover, what it's basically doing, it needs energy. So whatever there is in the body, your blood glucose, your glycogen, everything, it's breaking it down to release energy. because it needs that energy to come back to normal. So during a functional training workout, you actually end up burning more calories after your workout throughout the day than what you would do during the workout. So you a lot of clients are, "Arey, but sir, I only burned in 15 minutes, I only burned 100 calories." So that's still very good because doing this, now your body will burn more throughout the day. Then what, so if you had a normal, and you can see this even in a weight training session, you won't burn so much throughout the day than what you would burn after a functional workout. So that is why functional workout is important from the aspect of burning more calories. Okay. Okay. So diet, when we're talking about reducing body fat, of course, you want to be in a diet aspect where it's basically a deficit. Like we said, you want to try and burn more calories than what you consume. Okay. My my perspective is always that let's not compromise on the nutrition. Okay. If we need to burn more calories, let's do that through the activity rather than nutrition. Nutrition is very important. Yes, we can be in a slight deficit, but we don't need to go in a very big deficit. For example, agar 2000 calories is something that you require, okay, which is your normal requirement of the body throughout the day. You want to maximum drop 500 calories, not more than that. Even if you drop to 1000 calories, that's still okay, but only for 2 or 3 days maximum. Fourth day, you should again up the food. Because again, what happens is, like we said, the body's main goal is survival. It needs to survive. Now, if the body says, "Ki, yaar, I, I mean, I'm doing the same amount of work, if not the same, maybe a little bit more, but I'm not getting enough food. So where am I getting the energy from?" So then what the body does two things. One, it slows down the machinery, slows down the mechanism, it slows down your metabolism. So the body doesn't burn as much calories as normally it would. Secondly, it stores whatever it's getting, it stores it away. Simple example, think about money. If our expenditure stays the same, but we are not earning as much, what do we do? All right, same thing. So it goes into a very different survival mode where it starts slowing down the mechanism and it starts saving whatever it's getting. So that is why even if you go in a very big deficit of say 1000 calories, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days maximum, fourth day, again up the food. Go back up to 1500 calories. Do that for a day or 2 days, then go back down to 1000, not a problem. But don't keep it at 1000 calories consistently. Maybe in 1 week you will drop some weight, but when the body realizes कि अभी तो मुझे I don't think खाना मिलने वाला है, let me slow down the mechanism, then your weight drop will also stop. And if anything, in cases, it will actually increase because your fat is increasing, the storage is increasing, your metabolism is decreasing. So, same thing, go into a deficit, but not too much. Try to get that little bit extra deficit through the activity. Okay. Sleep, very, very important. Okay. Sleep is the most anabolic phase for the body, growth phase of the body. When we're talking about sleep, you need to understand the reason we sleep is so that we can rest, recover, and grow. And this can only happen when the mind is relaxed. If you are a overthinking kind of person and you're thinking too much before you go to sleep, and your mind is way too occupied with other things, you're not giving your mind the chance to do what it needs to do, which is rest and recover. So sleep, not only the quantity of sleep, but the quality of sleep matters a lot. So if anything, there are different ways in which you can actually control and you can enhance and make your sleep better. It's all out there. Try to stay away from gadgets or any kind of TV or whatever, because it stimulates the mind. Try to stay away from it at least an hour before going to bed. We also do that. Normally, how I spend the hour before going to bed, go for a shower, brush your teeth, put the clothes for a wash, put the utensils away, uh, do whatever little bit you need to do, sit for 10, 15 minutes, do some breath work, some light meditation. एक घंटा ऐसे ही निकल जाएगा. But it's very important because then the content and everything that you've seen or you've been on the phone, you give it time to let it go. All right. Start darkening the house a little bit. Orange lights definitely helps. White light, not so much. So sleep is also very important when it comes to reducing body fat because stress, it causes cortisol to increase in the body. Cortisol is not a bad thing. Cortisol is basically something which the body needs for being healthy, being well. But when that cortisol increases and there is no way to reduce the cortisol, that is when the problem comes. Cortisol affects the insulin, insulin affects the fat storage, and therefore the whole cycle again begins. So making sure that, because sleep, less sleep or disturbed sleep is what basically causes the body to be stressed. When the body sees stress, it doesn't see okay, whether am I getting it through sleep, am I getting it through diet, nutrition. Diet is also stressful, training, physical activity stressful, whether it's the job. It doesn't see all of that. It just recognizes stress as stress. Stress is nothing but an uneasy situation. Whether that uneasy situation is while you sleep, at home, at work, in the gym, does not matter. The more we can ease that situation, the better it is for us. Basic breathwork exercises, basic things that you can do to calm yourself down. Vrinda, my wife, she's a mental well-being coach, and she actually has a 6-day mental well-being boot camp, which is on there. It's like I think $300 or something. And in that, there are 6 or 7 videos in which she's explained what is anxiety, what is stress, what is depression, what are all these things, how does it affect the body, and what can you do to reduce it. I will share her link with you guys on WhatsApp as well and in your emails. Please have a look at that. Okay, supplements. Supplements also help, fat burners and this and that, carnitine, all of these help, but we need to understand that it's not only the supplements that help. अगर आप ट्रेनिंग नहीं करोगे, आप कैलोरी डेफिसिट में नहीं रहोगे, if you're not sleeping properly, then the supplements are not really going to help. We can't really depend take just fat burner because that actually is more harmful for the body. Weight training or training is the biggest stimulus, the most important stimulus that you can give your body to make sure that the food does what it needs to do most efficiently. Supplements do what they need to do most efficiently. Everything in general. It all comes down to weight training. The minute you exercise the muscle, everything else kind of just gets rolling. So you can take carnitine, you can take green tea extract, you can have coffee, all of these things, not a problem. They will help, but it's not that they are a magic pill. Nothing's going to happen only with that. Okay. And stress management, we already spoke about. Okay, mindset. We'll come back to this after we speak about nutrition. Let's talk about nutrition. So firstly, like we said, no diet. It's all about nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is all about your macronutrients, your protein, carbs, fat, your vitamins, minerals, and basically your fiber. Okay. Now let's start with the macronutrients. So when we talk about macronutrients, we're talking about protein, carbs, and fat. Now, what is the role of protein? We need to stop seeing protein as protein. We've kind of read in school as well, protein is the building block of life. Okay. But what actually makes protein? Amino acids. Everyone's heard of branch chain amino acids, EAAs, essential amino acids. So protein is actually made up of amino acids, and amino acids are called the building blocks of protein. Everything from your bones, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, your blood, your DNA, everything is made up of protein. Okay, not protein which you're getting through chicken, fish, milk, all of that, but amino acids. There are 20 amino acids, 9 essential amino acids, 11 non-essential amino acids. Essential amino acids mean amino acids which we need to take from outside, which are not available in our body. Body does not make them. Non-essential amino acids are the one that the body makes them themselves. Now, what is the role of amino acids? The 9 essential amino acids are literally responsible from muscle growth, repair, your immunity, your inflammation markers, your mood swing. So they are precursors to your hormones like dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline, epinephrine, all of these. Then also basically helps in your metabolism, helps your energy production. Okay, so amino acids are and also your two of the most important hormones, your testosterone, your estrogen. So amino acids are literally responsible for everything. You can survive without carbohydrates and fats, but you will not be able to survive without amino acids. Okay. That being said, the reason we say non-veg or animal products or animal meat is a complete protein is because all the 9 essential amino acids are found in animal products. Milk, paneer, dahi, meat, chicken, fish, all of that. But it's not that vegetarian diet is a problem. In vegetarian or plant food as well, amino acids are there, but some or the other amino acid is missing. So when they say ke have rajma, chawal, and dahi, it's literally a complete protein. You've got aspects of rajma, you've got aspects of chawal, you've got aspects of dahi. Everything comes together and gives you a complete protein. Now you've got all the 9 essential amino acids in your body to do what they are doing. Okay. So then why do you say that somewhere the non-vegetarian diet is better? Because lentils, pulses, legumes, beans, all of them have protein, but in a very small quantity. Now, if you need to consume 20 or 30 grams of protein in one meal, how are you going to do that with rajma or beans, or lentils? To consume 30 grams of protein, you'll need a massive bowl of sprouts. Chalo, you ate that, not a problem. Lekin, in consuming that big bowl of sprouts, you got your 30 grams of protein, but you also ended up getting way too many carbs than what you needed. Plus, maybe your stomach is not going to be so happy after consuming that much sprout. Okay, that is where your whey protein or protein powders come handy. So you can be a vegetarian. You can have your dahi, doodh, paneer. Okay, please don't. If for some reason you recently turned lactose intolerant, then it's not the food which is doing that. Think about it. 40 years you've had milk. Suddenly, one fine day, you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, milk doesn't suit me. I'm lactose intolerant. How does that happen? It happens because somewhere or the other, stress in the body has triggered that aspect of being lactose intolerant. It is your lifestyle. So somewhere you need to kind of check if what is going wrong in my lifestyle. I need to first check that, rectify that, and then slowly start adding milk back into your routine. Don't add a whole glass straight away. Start maybe with 2 sips, 3 sips, then increase it slowly. Let the body also get used to it. So point being that if you're a vegetarian, you can still get good amount of protein from your food, provided you're having paneer, dahi, doodh, and of course all the other vegetables. As long as you combine as much variety of vegetarian food, your amino acids will be fine. But to make sure that you're getting your certain number of protein in the day, you will need to maybe add some form of protein shake or protein powders, and they're absolutely fine. They're safe. There's no problem whatsoever. Okay. I'm going to send you a couple of links of protein powders in the WhatsApp group as well. You can choose which one you want. I've tried both of them and they work absolutely fine on the stomach. Now, how much protein do we need? Well, ideally, you would like to get between zero point 0.8 to a gram of protein per pound of body weight, not kg. Arey, but that's a lot of protein. Yes, that's a lot of protein. Okay. Now understand, if you're a lean person, then you will calculate per pound of body weight. If you are overweight, then you're not going to calculate per pound of body weight. You're going to try and figure out what your lean muscle mass is or what your goal weight is. So if you are 100 kgs and you are overweight and your goal is to be 60 or 65, then you will have your protein depend based on your goal weight, your 60 kgs. So per pound, 60 kgs is roughly what, 135 pounds. So 135 grams of protein is what you're going to basically have. Now, for a lot of people, that is still a lot of protein. You don't need to straight away jump to 135. Start with 80. See what is comfortable. Next week, increase it to 90, 95, 100. Let the body also get used to it. All right. Just because you have to do it doesn't mean you have to put your body through that unwanted stress. Let the body get used to these things and then take it slowly. All right. So ideally, you want 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're overweight, then base on your goal weight. That is what you want. If you're already a lean person, great. Does not matter how much protein you have. Even if you go excess, it is not going to bother you. Okay. You're not going to get any kidney stones. You're not going to get any issues. All right. Please have your protein, prioritize your protein. When you're eating on your plate, make sure you prioritize protein, which means have your protein first. Protein has an amazing quality of making you feel full, the satiety. All right. The minute you have protein, automatically you feel a little bit fuller. फिर उसके बाद अगर जगह बची है पेट में and you feel a little bit more hungry, then have your dal chawal or sabji or roti or whatever. And I promise you, you will not have as much as you would have if you first had dal chawal. Okay, so if you want to control the amount of food you're eating, you want to control your calories, very good way is to first eat your protein. First have your protein. If you even if you go excess, that's not a problem. It's a good thing. And then from there, whatever little space you have left, you can have your carbs and your fat. Now, carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrates, very simple. They're not your enemy. They are your friend. Stop treating them like your enemy. All right. Yeah, I'm saying the truth. Carbohydrates are not bad. They are very much needed for the body. They are the first source of fuel that your body relies on because it breaks down much easier and faster than fat. Now, yes, what time you eat your carbs, what carbs you're eating, how much you're eating matters a lot. Okay. So let's talk a little first about what are the different kinds of carbs. Two different types of carbs, simple carbs and complex carbs. Simple carbs are those which basically, when you eat, it spikes your insulin level, it increases the sugar in your blood much faster. White rice, bread, fruits, normal processed sugar, sweets, chocolates, all of that. It goes in and phat karke, it basically increases the insulin level, increases the blood sugar. Complex carbs. Complex carbs are those like your ragi, jawar, bajra, all of these whole grains, whole foods, which when you eat, it digests slowly into the system and it does not create a very high insulin spike and does not increase the blood sugar by a lot. But once again, if you are a weight training individual who trains at least 4 to 6 times in a week at moderate to high intensity, your muscles will eat up those carbs very easily. Whether it's simple carbs or complex carbs, simple carbs also, it will just lap it up. It will eat it. It will consume it. You won't even know. Your blood won't even know that there were any simple carbs in there. If you are a weight training individual. Yes, for people who are not doing any weight training, that becomes a little bit of a problem because then that sugar spike or the insulin spike and that high levels of glucose, where does it go? There's no place for it to go. That's when it becomes an issue, and that's where it gets stored away as fat. Okay. So if you're a weight training individual, you don't have to worry. Now, what is the right time? So for simple carbs, okay, because they give you a certain surge of energy, you can always have, like, say, even fruits, mango, bananas, strawberries, certain fruits which have a high glycemic index. Glycemic index, matlab, the amount of sugar that is there in a certain amount of food. Okay. Certain foods have a very high glycemic index, like watermelon. Even though it's a lot of water, it still has a very high uh, uh, percentage of sugar in it. So it spikes up the sugar levels a lot, spikes up the insulin a lot. Fruits like apple and other fruits like that don't have such a high glycemic index. But if you're going to train and if you want some energy, if you're feeling a little bit hungry, you're feeling a little bit low, okay, you need to first figure out what kind of low is it. Is it energy low? Is it mental low? Mental low, ke liye there's no food that is going to make you feel better. But if it's actually energy low, then you can have a half a banana, maybe a date, some raisins, something which will increase the blood sugar levels very fast, will give you that sudden energy. So simple carbs can be have had before your workout, around half an hour to 45 minutes before your workout, or directly after your workout. Because now, after your workout, your muscles are hungry for nutrition. You've just trained them, the glycogen is depleted, they need to fill up the reserves again. So, the minute you put some simple carbs in there, some simple sugars in there, straight away, all the sugar from the bloodstream will go directly into the muscle and will get used up for recovery and repair. Now, this is also a good time post workout to have your protein. Why? Because the insulin does not only carry sugar, but it carries all the important nutrients from the bloodstream into the muscle. So, if there's creatine in it, if there's protein in it, if there's some nuts in it, all the nutrition will get carried and will get taken away to the muscle. So, simple sugar, remember, simple carbs, try to eat them around your workout time. And the further away you get from your workout time, reduce the amount of simple carbs, stick more with the complex carbs. So if you're working out in the morning, your breakfast can be good amount of, if you want fruits, no problem. You can choose your fruits, you can have whatever cereal, whatever you want. Lunch, you can still have, some kind of simple carbs. You can still have some rice, but then have your dal and have your meat, have your protein, and then dinner can be the least amount of simple carbs. So here, even if you have one roti of jawar or bajra, something with dahi, some vegetables, that's fine. That's the time you will try to avoid any simple carbohydrates. Okay. So that's basically carbs. Now, how much? As long as you prioritize your protein, carbs, the remaining balance of your meal can be carbs and fat. I'm also going to explain to you, moving on, how you can actually calculate how much food you need. Okay, plus, like I said, those of you who are there till the end, I'll be giving you guys a great surprise where I will do all this for you, but I'll tell you more of that later. Fats. Now, fat is not what makes you fat. Please understand. Fat is very important for you. Fat is literally responsible for maintaining a healthy hormonal balance in the body, along with other things. And fat you need only as much as you need whatever you're using to cook your food. So you don't need to add any extra fat in your food. This is all if you're trying to basically lose weight, lose body fat. Of course, if you're on a gaining phase, if you're trying to gain, then you can have some extra avocado in your breakfast. You can have some cheese. You can have all of that. But otherwise, only as much fat as you need to cook your food. The basic amount of olive oil, the basic amount of ghee, butter, whatever it is, nothing extra. Keep it as minimal as possible, but do not avoid it. Okay. Okay. So protein, we spoke about who should consume protein. Everyone should consume the importance of protein, amino acids. That is what we spoke about. Carbs, we spoke about simple carbs, timing, complex carbs, the insulin, blood glucose, muscle. We spoke about this as well. Fats again. Okay. So calories. Everybody knows what a calorie is. Calorie is basically energy, calories in, calories out. That is what really matters at the end of the day. Where are you getting those calories from also matter. Now, what is calories in? Calories in is basically any food that you consume, any drink that you have, it has a certain amount of calories. What is calories out? Now, calories out is actually, once you understand this, it becomes very simple. There are four different phases. There's your BMR, basic metabolic rate, what we already spoke about, the energy that your body requires just to stay alive, just to survive. That is your BMR. And there is your NEAT, non-exercise, okay, non-exercise movements. So when you're moving your hands while talking, when you're walking to the bathroom, when you're in the kitchen cooking, movements outside the gym without the intent of exercise, that is called non-exercise energy consumption. Okay, very basic, twiddling your thumb, all of that. Simple movements that you do. TFE, thermic effect of food. Now, when you eat food and it goes into your system, it needs to get broken down, it needs to get digested, it needs to get absorbed. All of that requires energy. So, protein has a 35% TFE, which means if you've consumed 100 calories from protein, 30 to 35% of it will get used up in breaking down the protein, which means end may you've only ended up consuming 70. Carbohydrates is between 15 to 20%. Okay. That is why nutritionists, dietitians will always tell you to eat more complex carbs, to eat more whole grains, whole foods, because whole grains and whole foods, they are very dense. All right. They've got nutrition in them, but they're also very dense, which means that it takes more energy to break them down. Okay. Fat is very small, around 2 to 5%, maybe less. So the kind of food we eat, we also end up burning a lot of energy from that. Okay. So it does not always have to be a deficit. You can consume a good amount of protein and some whole grains, and you'll actually burn a lot of that food, the calories that you're consuming, you'll already burn it without even doing anything. And then last one is your exercise, the energy that you basically burn through exercise. Okay. Now I'm going to give you some numbers and you'll actually be quite shocked. Say if you're basically burning 1,000 calories in the whole day, 60 to 65% of that is your BMR. That means you can imagine how important burning energy through your basic metabolic rate is. Again, this is basically if you are a proper working out individual who's doing that 3 to 4 times a week, then 60 to 65%, maybe even 70, depending on the muscle that you have, you're burning 70% of your 1,000 calories in just your BMR. Your thermic effect of food is again around, I would say, maybe 10 to 15% would be a thermic effect of food, maybe 20%. Okay, so again, depending on the kind of food you choose to eat, you will burn more calories. Then your non-exercise energy consumption, that is again roughly, I would say between another 10% or something. And the remaining literally 10% or less is your exercise. So think about it. Only 10% of the energy that you burn is coming through exercise, and we give it so much importance. Yes, we have to give it importance because we have to make sure we do the right kind of exercise to reach that goal, but the majority of the calories are being burned by your metabolic rate. So everything you do, the food that you eat, how much you eat, when you eat, your weight training to increase muscle, that all literally helps in increasing your basic metabolic rate. And that is what will burn the maximum amount of calories. So you get the perspective. We try to go in a deficit by cutting 500 calories, 1000 calories, and we try to do so much more work in the gym where it's can be done much smarter and lesser, and still we end up burning way more calories. Okay. So once again, from the calories in, calories out, where you get your calories in, calories from is matters. That, of course, you've already understood that you prioritize your protein first. Okay. 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. When you do that, you will get how many calories you're getting through your protein. 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. 1 gram of carb has 4 calories. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. Okay. When where you're getting your calories from matters. Calorie deficit, keep it as low as possible. Make sure you give yourself the right amount of nutrition. And then, of course, even if you're doing a massive drop in your deficit of, say, 1,000 calories, don't do it for more than 2 to 3 days. 3 days of 1,000 calorie drop. Fourth day, again, feed yourself. Fifth day, go a little bit lesser. Sixth day, go back to 1,000. So keep cycling it. Especially days that you're not working out, you can go and you can even fast for the whole day. I'm absolutely okay with that as well. If you can, 18-hour fast, 20-hour fast. If you're not working that day, if you have a more relaxed day, you're sitting at home, then definitely consume as little as possible because there's nothing to burn. You're not doing any activity. For myself, I know that my leg workout day is always very intense and I feel very tired after a leg workout day. So I make sure that I eat more when I do legs than when I do any other body part. And then, like, say, Sundays is usually a rest day. I will wake up in the morning, I'll have my cup of chai, and then I probably won't eat anything till maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Depends. When I get hungry, then I'll eat. Because it's Sunday. We're not really working, not going to the gym. We're sitting at home. It's relaxed. You can kind of keep your mind off the food. It's easier to do that when you're not really doing anything. So every now and then, also, if you kind of fast, that's absolutely fine. When you're not training, keep your calories to a minimum. No, milk and tea is not bad at all. There's nothing better than regular chai and masala chai. Kali chai, I don't like at all. I don't know how anyone can drink kali chai. But anyways, so that is basically about calories. Are we good with calories? We clear with that? Give me a thumbs up if you are. We're simple, excellent, super, great. All right. So sustainability, most important aspect of weight loss, of fat loss. Before we go there, let's talk a little bit about the different fat diets. So we've got keto, we've got intermittent fasting, we've got zone diet, we've got paleo diet, we've got all these different kind of diets. You know what is one thing which is common in all of them? They reduce calories by some way or the other. Ketogenic diet will reduce the calories by reducing or removing a complete macronutrient from your food, from your plate. Intermittent fasting will put you under a time constraint. The goal is to reduce calories. And you can do that without any diet. You can do that having a normal balanced diet. You don't need to be on a ketogenic diet. You don't. Intermittent fasting, I am kind of okay with that. I don't mind intermittent fasting. I mean, think about it. Our Indian culture, we fasted for generations and generations. I mean, we've kept different the even Islamic community, Ramadan, they've kept fast for one month. All right, it's not something which is new. Our cultures are very old compared to these kind of fad diets. The fad diets also come from all these cultures only. All right. So the whole thing of basically even Ramadan, keeping from sunrise to sunset, 12 hours to 14 hours of fast, it's all was done from a perspective of longevity, from a perspective of health. All right. Now the West is kind of teaching us, packaging it in a different kind of way, talking all great stuff about it. Whereas our culture has been doing it for years and years, and God knows, I mean, we can go way back and not even know when it started. So intermittent fasting is great. Fasting definitely helps the body get healthier, get better. There's a lot of science into it. We're not going to go into the science of it, but few things I want to tell you if you want to do intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is absolutely fine. Doesn't matter what window of fast you use, as long as you're consuming the calories that you need to. Because remember, if you go into a fast and you're again going into a very big deficit, the body won't see, oh, he's doing intermittent fast. It's okay. I'll kind of let it go for that. No, it is still a deficit. The metabolism will still slow down. It will still start saving everything. As long as you're training, as long as you're doing a decent fasting window and eating window, and as long as you're making sure that you eat what you need to eat, prioritizing your protein, the intermittent fast will work beautifully for you. Now, how do you break your intermittent fast? You've done a 14-hour fast, you've done a 16-hour fast. Your body is really waiting to get all the nutrition. The worst thing you can do now is give it some simple carbs. No, that's not what you want to do. You will feed it some protein, okay? Protein with maybe a little bit of some kind of simple carbs, because the simple carbs will spike the insulin level, spike the glucose level. Now there's protein in it as well. Straight away, that protein will first get carried away to the muscles where it needs to go. Break your fast with a very small meal. Don't binge and don't go all crazy. Small meal, majority protein, a little bit of carbs, and a little bit of fat. After you've done that, maybe after an hour, then sit down and have your proper meal. In this meal, you can have your normal, whatever food you want to eat, depending if you're having 2 meals or 3 meals. Even your 2 meals can be, one meal can be a big meal, the other meal can be divided into two. So one small meal which you have as soon as you break your fast, another small meal you can have if you want after that, and your bigger meal with your more complex carbs, because those are the carbs that will help you sustain and give you energy throughout your fasting window. That should be had last. All right. Everything I said, without using too much science, just use logic. And I promise you, using logic will help you make your understanding much simpler. Okay. Fruits is definitely not an issue. You can have fruits, but like I said, make sure there is protein. First protein, then a little bit of fruit to break your fast. Bone broth soup, paya soup, all this is amazing when it comes to breaking your fast because it has a good bit of fat in it. It's got protein. You can have a piece of bread or something with it. Not a problem. Go for it. Okay. But simple carbs, uh, and remember, when you're breaking your fast as well, you can eat your small meal and then go and do your workout. Or if you feel that you want to do a workout on a fasted state, then do it just before you're about to break your fast. So you do your workout, you break your fast with a nice protein meal, some simple sugars, and then again after an hour or an hour and a half, you can have your proper meal. Okay. So that is intermittent fasting. Ketogenic diet, I've done it, but I'm not a big fan of because that all this brings us to sustainability. You can do everything for 3 months. You can do it for 4 months. You can get to your goal. You can be ready for your sister's wedding, your birthday, beach holiday, whatever it is. But what happens after that 3 months? You're not going to be able to sustain that lifestyle. Say you've taken a sabbatical from work and you are training 4 hours a day, you're fasting, you're eating, doing everything. That is not a lifestyle that you can sustain. The minute you go back to your old lifestyle, boom, you're going to go back to square one. All right. So, what we need to understand is that when we were talking about progressive overload, how a sustainable fat loss happens, it's a slower process. But what that slower process allows us to do, get to a new get to a fat loss place, let the body get adapted, then we change a little bit more. Again, do a little bit more fat loss, let the body change. Again, it adapts. That becomes that. So you keep hitting a new normal every single time, which means that at the end of the day, when you've got to, so like, for example, when I trained Ranbir Kapoor for Animal and we wanted to gain that weight, we did it over a period of a year. We gained around 10 to 12 kgs over a period of 1 year. But now that weight is consistent. He was always a very lean guy at 70 kgs, 69, 71. But now he's maintained that weight. Why? Because we did it slowly. Even though all the shoots were happening or whatever was happening, we make sure we time the body shot and the main shoot in such a way that it gave us enough time for us to reach to that goal. So now that he is at that goal, his body weight is the same. He keeps shifting 1, 2 kgs up and down, but he'll never go back to being 70. Same thing, it's for weight loss, same thing for weight gain. We want to basically do it slowly so that the body reaches a new normal and stays there. Okay, it doesn't go back to square one. All right, so mindset for food, eat in balance, very important. Focus on your portion control. You know, it's simple, it's easier to say, I'm going to quit sugar. I don't want it, I'm going to quit it. It's way harder to say, I'm going to have one bite and I'm going to stop. Quitting, a lot of people can do. There's no harm in it. But control is something that you want to learn. All right. If really you are someone who cannot control, then definitely stay away from it. But if you can, then there's nothing. Everything takes practice. Guys, everything takes practice. Everything that you've learned today, you're learning today, when you start applying it, it takes practice to get to that point. And there's nothing wrong in that. There's nothing wrong in if it takes a little bit longer. At least when we get there, we know that this, whatever we've achieved, is here to stay. Okay? Be simple about the process. Again, fat loss, weight training, nutrition, like I've explained to you, I don't think I've said anything to you that you don't already know. It is literally that simple. It is not rocket science. It is very simple. We just need to apply it in the right way, be a little bit patient about it because it takes time. And in the meanwhile, keep doing what we need to do. You need to learn about yourself. All right. When I say learn about yourself, and I told you that if you go to the gym, if you're feeling great, then go all out, push yourself. But if you're feeling a little bit low, your energy is not that great, then there's no need to, push yourself. Do a lighter workout and come back home. Live to fight another day. Next day, the workout will be much better. So understand these things about yourself. Simple things. Okay. As long as you burn it, it's okay. So it doesn't matter what you're eating, whether it's sugar and all of that, as long as you're weight training, as long as you're doing it consistently. ऐसे नहीं कि आज मैंने एक donut या pizza, ice cream खाया, now I have to go in the evening and burn it. It doesn't happen that way. It stays in the body. Like I said, when the fat gets stored, it's not entering a prison. It is there, it is open, it is ready to go for a holiday anytime. Okay, so it's there. As long as you burn it in the coming day, in the coming 1 or 2 next days, it will go. All right. But that consistent weight training, consistent activity is very much needed. And it's okay to treat yourself. We don't call it a cheat day, we call it a treat day. You work really hard from Monday to Friday. All right. Saturday and Sunday, you want to eat something that you really love. Go for it. Why not? Yes, don't eat 3 pizzas, have maybe half a pizza, share it with someone. And once again, I promise you, even if you want to eat something like that, eat your protein first and then enjoy whatever. For me, I like to see it, okay, if I know I'm going to be consuming my calories, let me be a little bit smart about it and consume the calories first that matter. उसके बाद पेट में जितनी भूख रहेगी और दिमाग में जितनी वो उसकी भूख रहेगी फिर उतना खाएंगे बट पहले let's eat what matters. So protein first. After that, even if you want to eat your sev puri, pani puri, whatever you want to do, go for it. No problem. these small things will help us, help us in the whole process. We spoke about the stress. We spoke about why it's bad for you. I told you I'll send you Vrinda's link on the WhatsApp group. You can do that because at the end of the day, cortisol is literally what, gets in the way of fat loss, gets in the way of muscle gain. It actually breaks down the muscle. It helps in gaining fat rather than anything else. So we want to try and keep the cortisol levels as low as possible. Okay. So about our philosophy, what we do, the WhatsApp group is always there, accountability, all of this, the right education is what we always want to try and reach out to you guys so that you can make the right informed decision. And like I always reply to every single person regarding their doubts, whether it's fitness or nutrition. So that's that. And once again, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this webinar. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to speaking to you really, really soon. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful Sunday, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you.